Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing my week 4 of January review videos. Now I'm making this video at the end of February because I decided a few weeks ago they're the best thing going forward just because of my schedule and how free I generally am, because it's not definite that I can record a video every week with that either being pickups, which is why I've now stopped doing weekly pickup videos and I'm only doing monthly videos, or just my collection videos because I don't have a lot of spare time. And since I've been recording my videos on my laptop, I generally keep my laptop in work during the week, so I don't bring it home, but I am on the weekends now, so I can make videos every so often and then they can go out throughout the month. So you should be seeing this the first week of March. I was hoping to do this last weekend, but I just didn't have time. So this will be going up on the 1st of March, and then from then on, every Tuesday is the idea. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. You'll have another Blu-ray collection video on the 4th, which is definitely all ready to go. I'm going to be trying to record some more of them tomorrow. I'm going to do my Blu-ray collection today, and I'm going to try and do 3 review videos to see how we go. But anyway, starting off on the 25th of January, so this is the last week of January, and I decided I wanted to watch a classic film, so I decided to watch Meet Me in St. Louis. So I'm starting to try and get into more classic films. There are a lot of films from like the 40s, 50s, even 60s that I, sorry my phone's going off, that I still haven't seen and that I do want to watch because I want to try and get more interested in films of this era. And I'd heard good things about this. I really like The Wizard of Oz, which is obviously Judy Garland. So I thought I'd check this out because I'd picked it up just before Christmas. And this is basically a musical, but it's not too heavy on the songs. There are songs in it, but not all the time like some musicals do. And it's basically about a family in 1903/1904 who live in St. Louis, and it specifically follows Esther, who is played by Judy Garland, and she's basically navigating life and love growing up in St. Louis. And the words to describe this film, I would say this is a joyful and just a pleasing film, and one that I would definitely quite happily watch again. It's a feel-good film, and it's got a great story, and it's got great characters that you actually care about. So I would definitely recommend checking Meet Me in St. Louis out. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Next up, it says I watched it on the same day, but I believe I watched this on the 26th of January, day after. I decided I'd watch something that I'd been wanting to watch for a while. I really like Martin Scorsese, and I've not seen a lot of his work, so I decided I had this on Blu-ray, so I decided to give it a watch because it wasn't too long, and that is Cape Fear. And I'll say this is a great suspense thriller, and it's basically about a lawyer who is played by Nick Nolte, and his family. So you have Jessica Lange plays his wife and Juliette Lewis plays his daughter, and they're basically terrorized by this psychopath called Max Cady, who is played absolutely brilliantly by Robert De Niro in one of his best performances, because Nick Nolte's character basically was his lawyer, and because he knew he was guilty, he basically didn't do anything to stop him from going to prison. And now he's out of prison, he's basically just terrorizing him and his family. This is tense throughout, and it's just got a great story at the centre of it, because as we go further and further through the story, Cady just gets more and more twisted in the things that he does. I was absolutely gripped from the start, and Scorsese has managed to craft an excellent thriller. Whilst at times it is definitely a difficult one to watch, it's still, I would say, a fantastic film, and another great Scorsese film that I've watched now. And I gave Cape Fear 4 out of 5 stars. Next up, we have the first of three. Now, as of recording this, I have seen all three. I actually watched the last one a few days ago, but I staggered them. But these are films that I've heard, well, the first one specifically, only good things about. And I thought they're short films. Let's start watching them. I got this again at the end of last year, and I thought it was time to watch them. And that is Bill and Ted, specifically Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So I had wanted to watch this for a very long time, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and as I said, I'd been told it is a cult classic, so I finally pulled the trigger and watched it, and I can't say anything other than it was excellent, excuse the pun. I love time travel films, and especially if they're like got elements of comedy within it, like Back to the Future. And I just absolutely loved the characters of Bill and Ted, played excellently by Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves. And I thought the story was just great. And if I'm being completely honest, I just loved this film so much that it will now probably be in my top 50 films of all time because of the level of enjoyment I got from it. I gave Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 5 out of 5 stars. I did absolutely love it. It was just a great film. If you've not seen the Bill and Ted films, I'm not going to spoil my thoughts on the other two films, but I would highly recommend watching Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because it's a fantastic film, and they did 4K restoration on this Blu-ray specifically, and it looks great. So yeah, definitely recommend that. Next up, I believe this was a night where I wasn't too sure what to watch, and I wanted to watch something that was easygoing and something that didn't have to think too much, and I picked out a film. I'll show you. It's called Criminal, and I knew I'd seen most of this film before, if not all of it, but it was a long time ago and I couldn't remember much about it, so I thought might as well revisit it. And for the most part, I'll say this is a pretty solid action thriller, and it stars Kevin Costner, who is playing a criminal who basically has a dead CIA agent's memories put into his head, like against his will. And I think it is a really clever concept, and for the most part I do think it works, but I feel that there could have been more that could have been done with this film. The action is there, the story is entertaining, the characters are interesting, and you can see that there is compassion between some of the characters in this. I thought this was a good enough film to pass some time, that has some entertainment factors, but all in all it doesn't really do anything new or special. Gal Gadot's in this. I'm sticking with, I don't think she's a very good actress. She's not great as Wonder Woman. Didn't think she was very good in this. Didn't think she was awfully good in Death on the Nile. Spoilers for an upcoming review. What else has she been in? I mean, Red Notice I didn't like anyway. Yeah, can't say she's a good actress. I don't think she is personally. I think she's very wooden, and she gives the same performance in all of her films. But yeah, this was an okay, entertaining film, I would say. I gave Criminal 3 out of 5 stars. Now, next up, I watched a film that had just been released in the cinema. It's a sequel to a film that I thought was a really good animated film, and that is Sing 2. Now, I really liked the first one. I would probably give it 3.5 stars, because animated films are on a different level to normal films, because I mean, unless they're a Pixar film, they're not generally great. That's the way I think of it. But I couldn't quite believe it because this doesn't happen very often, but I actually think that this film is better than the first film. As I say, it doesn't happen very often, but I feel like the story in this was better, and it deals with much more adult elements in this film, such as grief and anxiety and just pressure, and overall I think this was a more pleasing and entertaining film. It builds more on what the first one did, and the characters all had satisfying arcs in this film, and the music used in this film was better than in the first film, I think personally anyway. I still love the first film, as I say, as an animated film, just overall enjoyed this film more. I think personally they should now leave it here, because I know a lot of people would have said that after the first one, but I couldn't possibly see how they could get any better than this, because they have crafted 2 fantastic animated films for both families, young and old. So yeah, if you've not seen either of the Sing films, watch them both. If you've seen the first one but not seen the second one yet, definitely recommend it. I gave Sing 2 4 stars out of 5. 3 left now. Next up, I wanted to watch a biopic because it had been a while since I watched a really gritty, decent biopic. So I decided to watch Ray, and I really liked this film. For the most part, it was a solid music biopic, obviously about Ray Charles. I will say though, the points where it did let me down was that in the middle it did start to drag, and I think overall it was probably 30 minutes too long, and they tried to just squeeze as much as they could out of this film. However, I will still say the story was very interesting. I was very interested in his life story, and like many of the great artists back in like the 60s and 70s, he did face demons and opioid addiction really badly, and it led to the breakup of his marriage. His songs are groundbreaking for their time, and Jamie Foxx gives an Oscar-winning performance, obviously. He did win the Oscar for this. This was overall a pretty good film, interesting biopic, but there, I would say, is definitely room for improvement by just cutting it down just a little bit, so it wasn't as long. So I gave Ray 3.5 stars out of 5. 2 more to go. Next up was a new release one. I don't believe it has as of yet been released in the UK. I could be wrong though, but it was one that I had seen a trailer for and just wanted to watch as soon as it came out, so I did. And that is The Fallout. And I'll say it was a very moving and emotional film. So the first 10 minutes were extremely tense. Basically, I'll say, well, I'll get into it in a minute, but as I say, it's very intense and hard to watch, but it is important for the rest of the film and the story. I thought that Jenna Ortega was absolutely phenomenal in this film, as the lead, and I'm sure she's going to go on to do some great things. I've not seen Scream 5 yet. Another spoiler for it to come up. I have started watching the Scream films, but I've not got around to the 5th one yet, which I will soon. Basically, the film is about the main character played by Jenna Ortega called Veda, who is basically struggling after the aftermath of a school shooting in which she was involved in, and it has basically changed her life. And as I say, it is hard at times to watch, but it was, I feel, a fantastic film. And I don't think enough people are going to be watching this. Not enough people are talking about this film. I've not heard really anyone talk about this film, and it's been out for a month now. But if you can watch this, I would definitely recommend it. I have said a few times now, it is a hard watch, but I think it is a very powerful story, and one that hasn't been told in the correct way before like this, and it's just an important look at society today, and how we have to live like in the world that we live in today. And I just, as a young person, did really connect to this film, and I couldn't possibly imagine what some people my age have to go through, like around the world, and have to deal with in other countries. Like I say, if you can watch this film, then do, because it is a great one, and one that I just hope more people will talk about throughout the year. That is The Fallout, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Now the last one was one that, again, I've been interested in watching for a while. I do like these types of films. It's got 2 fantastic lead actors in it, and that is The Invasion. And I will say this was a really tense and gripping sci-fi thriller, and it's basically about an alien organism, whatever you like, an alien, who they basically take over people's bodies whilst they're sleeping, and it's basically about these 2 doctors who are basically trying to race to find a cure for it. I did really think this was a good film. Nicole Kidman was great. As I say, she was in a lead role with Daniel Craig, who was also really good in the film. The score made the tension just build even more, and the film overall had a really eerie atmosphere, and just made the film more interesting. This had made me want, like, I want to check the original one out now, because I've heard like The Invasion of the Body Snatchers from, I think it was out in the 70s, because I did enjoy this one, had a lot of fun with this one, and really enjoyed it. I gave The Invasion 3.5 out of 5 stars. And that is it. So that is everything I watched in the last week of January. Not too much. A mix, mostly good films. There were films I'll say in February that were very mixed. A lot of the new releases I did enjoy from February. Obviously, I'm just teasing. I'm not going to highlight any specific one because you shall see in future videos. But those were the ones that I watched in the final week of January. Let me know if you have seen any of them in the comment section down below and what you thought of them if you have seen them, or whether you now are interested in watching any of them after seeing my reviews of them. Don't forget to like down below and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Comment down below anything, everything. I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment, and that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care, goodbye.